right, a huge statement, a response has come in from Shashi Tharoor. He may be abroad right now, putting forth India's narrative vis-a-vis Operation Sindoor. However, I'm sure he's aware about what's happening back home, and there is a suspension demand rising against Shashi Tharoor. Shashi Tharoor has taken a jibe, it appears, at Congress critics and trolls. He has said he stands by the remark that this is the first real big surgical strike by Modi government. And let's listen in to what he has said. It appears he's put out a statement as well. This is very important. Remember, he said past government's response were restrained and constrained. And he's also said, I do not have any time for this. But anyway, for those zealots fulminating about my supposed ignorance of Indian valor across the LOC, using quintessential Tharoor words, he says, and I quote him here, I was clearly explicitly speaking only about reprisals against terror attacks, not about previous wars. My comments have been about recent years alone, during which Indian response have been restrained, constrained by responsible respect for the LOC and IB. But as usual, critics and trolls are welcome to distort my views. I genuinely have better things to do. If this statement is not about the statements coming from Congress, what else is this about? He doesn't name, he doesn't shame anyone. Amit Bhardwaj joins me for the latest on that. Amit, where has he put out this statement? How should one make of it? And clearly he's said a lot without revealing as much.
Pooja, as I was also indicating, this is the all-out narrative war, communication war within the Congress party. What we usually see playing out is that Congress versus BJP battle, and that's happening on one front over a special session of the parliament. But within the Congress party, you have Mr. Tharoor on one side and essentially the leaders from the communication team on the other side, because what we have seen through the day in the past 12-16 hours is that Mr. Pawan Khera, who is part of the media team, he has been constantly sort of fact-checking Shashi Tharoor's statement and putting him as CC in his tweets. And these tweets were also being endorsed by Mr. Jairam, Ramesh, and apparently you had Udit Raj's comment being retweeted by the senior leaders like Jairam, Ramesh and Pawan Khera. But now the counter, this must be taken, as you were also mentioning. It has to be, decoded as a counter and nothing else from Mr. Shashi Tharoor, who is out on diplomatic mission for India right now, part of multi-party delegations. And he's also saying that his comments were actually put out of context. He had spoken about India's counter-terror responses even before 2014, the way Indian armed forces had carried out these restrained and attacks in respect to LOC. And the other agencies had also carried out all these things. But he's saying, without mentioning names, he's saying critiques and trolls. So we'll have to see as to whether he's calling Mr. Udit Raj critics and trolls, or is it very generic word coming as a...
Amit, I think he's definitely talking about Udit Raj and others from the Congress party. Now remember, here's what the Congress has said to Shashi Tharoor's statement, that there have been surgical strikes between 2004-2014, especially when Prime Minister was Manmohan Singh. It's just that the Congress did not go, as the Congress says, drum beating about it. But let's listen into Shashi Tharoor. What was that one statement as he was praising India, praising government, praising the kind of response to Pahalgam terror attack? Could prove to be trouble from Congress party.
But what has changed in recent years is that the terrorists have also realized they will have a price to pay. On that, let there be no doubt. When, for the first time, India breached the line of control between India and Pakistan to conduct a surgical strike on a terror base, a launch pad, the Uri strike in September 2015, that was already something we had not done before. Even during the Kargil war, we had not crossed the line of control. In Uri, we did. Then came the attack in Pulwama in January 2019. This time we crossed not only the line of control, we crossed the international border and we struck a terrorist headquarters in Balakot.
6 बार 2014 के पहले 6 बार 4 बार नहीं 6 बार सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक हुई थी। देश के प्रधानमंत्री ने भी ये कहा था, मनमोहन सिंह ने। हम तारीख सिलसिलेवार सब बता सकते हैं, परंतु जो सैनिक गतिविधियां होती हैं या सैन्य ऑपरेशन होते हैं, देश के हित में, जब देश का हित बड़ा हो तो वो बोला नहीं जाता। यही हमारे तत्कालीन प्रधानमंत्री और सरकार ने बनाए रखा। पर अब मौजूदा सरकार करे या न करे, श्रेय लेना चाहती है और वर्तमान प्रधानमंत्री जी ने ये श्रेय लिया, बहुप्रचारित किया। खैर, उनकी सरकार पूजा ने।
So remember, this is what the BJP has said. BJP said that never before the kind of strikes that were attempted this time have been done earlier. The Congress says, as you heard, that we've actually managed about 6 surgical strikes. It's just that we did not boast about it in national interest. But for now, this is about Shashi Tharoor. Remember, we're talking about all of the parties. TMC is there, the DMK is there. Other parties also are being represented in the multi-party delegations. But Shashi Tharoor's statement, also because he is one of the most prominent faces with regard to the global state, global affairs, and also is as articulate. Therefore, one of the reasons that his views have gone viral is what the Congress says. Why are you criticizing the Congress history? So that is what has happened, and we'll listen in to how, for example, Udit Raj has led the charge. Initially, it appeared it was only Udit Raj's comment, but then Pawan Khera, who's a national spokesperson, who's heading the social media cell, shared it, reposted it, put out his own statements, and one by one it became clear, even with Jairam Ramesh's statement, that they are not happy with Shashi Tharoor's comments. I want to bring in Amit Bhardwaj on this. Amit, so this is definitely escalating now. Udit Raj says we'll back if there's a suspension order against him. I wonder if that is coming from a certain top leadership to go ahead and say that, and if it can be conveyed to Shashi Tharoor. What I am thinking here is, isn't there one senior leader in the Congress party, Amit, who can possibly ring up, call up Shashi Tharoor and have a conversation rather than have all this unfold on social media?
Pooja, that's what we would have, or anyone within, in any political party for that matter, would have expected in normal circumstances. But that's how political wars, play out often in any political party. That's also a truth. And that's what is happening within the Congress party. While you have Udit Raj making such statements, which usually the Congress party many times distance itself from. But in this case, what has happened is that Pawan Khera, who is the national spokesperson of the Congress party, heads is a very prominent part of the media department of communication strategy of the Congress. He endorses Udit Raj's comment against Shashi Tharoor, in which he had called Shashi Tharoor an unofficial spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and today he goes on to seek disciplinary action against Shashi Tharoor.